Am I reading this right? Am I reading this right? Did we just get did we just get some fucking sub bangs? 10 sub bangs? Did we already get 10 sub bangs? Hold on, let me look at the mainframe on Twitch. Shut the fuck up. Are you kidding me? What the fuck is going on in here? I'm stuck in this little bitch ass office over here, fucking sneaking in a board review on Friday, and you guys are trying to get me turned up. Turned up. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Let me just scroll back here real quick. We have La Babera with a sub bang, 21 months, then Saturday, then Sunday. He gets it. Nutbuster comes out here and gives out 10 sub bangs. What the fuck's a Nutbuster? I mean, we barely even got started. I don't understand what's going on here, but I love it. We're at Hype Train level 5, and we're 5 minutes into the stream. Hold on, we're not done yet. After 10 sub bangs by Nutbuster, Thrasher comes in here. Thrasher, out of all people, comes in here and gives 5 sub bangs. What the fuck got it, everybody? And then we got Nissify, whatever it is. DJ, happy Friday to you as well. 5-month sub bang. That's incredible. I'm not even kidding. That's incredible. Listen, this isn't usually one of those streams that does like subathons and a bunch of giveaways and shit like that for subs. I always appreciate when people subscribe and or gift subs to other viewers. It's very fun and it's great for the vibes. And I'm sorry I have to be a core bitch today, but what the fuck got into you? Vibes are high. We're getting lit on a Friday morning. I fucking love that. Captain Corp is back. Yes, I am. I apologize, but thank you for sticking with me. So I wasn't super corp in the morning. I had something at 8 a.m. I moved it, thank God. But I have a fucking 12 o'clock. It was a 12:30, then it was a 12:15. Now it's going to be at 12. And it's like maybe a 10, 15-minute walk from my office. So I have to be here set up so I can just shut the computer and then head on out. So that's my plan for the day. And I just want to say thank you again, guys. I appreciate it. That's fucking awesome that we are this amped up on a Friday morning. We all off the prime routine this morning. Iced coffee and AJ. Love that. I've already had 3 cups of coffee. I actually just switched to a fucking tea. I got some tea over here from like a little bakery place. I don't know, but I'll tell you what though, they had some macaroons in there. I'm not even a macaroon guy. I'm not a macaroon guy, but they had some macaroons in there that were looking at me funny. I wasn't looking at them funny. They were looking at me funny. A little pistachio. I saw this pistachio macaroon over there looking at me funny. Thrasher, thanks, bro. WJ Rockers, Friday. Yay, that's right. All right, awesome. Vibes are high. Morning, DJ. You look like you need a cold brew. I haven't had a cold brew. I've been up since 5 a.m. doing the newsletter. We got the newsletter out. W newsletter. Listen, we need to get right in the NFL like a motherfucker. If you haven't subscribed, go to the website, thedegenerateweekly.com. Subscribe. You can for free. There are people that are paying us monthly. Primer, I saw, I think maybe it was you that just signed up and paid. Really appreciate that. Thank you so much for the support. And we've been doing great in college, as I've mentioned. 27, 14, and 1. NFL, Dick kicked on. That was actually really loud. Dick kicked in. Okay, so we got to get right. Audric was free. It was a little sweaty. He got the ball once, 6 yards. Got the ball twice, 4 yards. Got the ball third time, 7 yards. And I'm like, God fucking damn it. And then I went to bed. And I woke up. You know when you go to bed with a bet on the mind? Like it's like okay, hold on, wait, let me phrase this differently. You know when you go to bed and you have to wake up early for something and you don't get great sleep? For an example, like let's say you have a 6 a.m. flight. You get to bed at like 10 o'clock. You have a 6 a.m. flight and you have to wake up at like, I don't know, 3:30, 4 o'clock. Like you kind of just sleep like shit. You just know, because you go to bed knowing you have to wake up so early. When you go to bed, when you have a bet that's still pending, you kind of sleep like shit. And not that it was like weighing heavily on my mind. It was just a 1-unit bet. You know what I mean? But it's still fun. And I'm like, oh, I just can't, I can't wait to wake up and see if this bet hit. And so I woke up at like 1:30 to take a piss. I did have tea at night. I'm trying not to drink as much sleepy time tea because that's part of the reason I take a piss in the middle of the night so much. So I woke up and then the first thing I saw was sick money. I opened my Twitter, I clicked my notifications, and I saw, I was like, oh, I'll know. Oh, hold on 1 second. Early. I said, I know, instead of checking the box score, I'd prefer to just check and see if anybody commented on the video. And I saw sick money say, estimate bang. And I was like, let's fucking go. Okay. Colby, you too, brother. Are you in Chicago? I forget if you're in Chicago or another city. Anyway, it looks lovely. I love Chicago. I think you're in Chicago. Fuck Shaw Payton for not using estimating at goal line touches. Yeah, that was whack. Beef, Carbon Time, Splooch, Bang. Listen, there we go. Our guy Beef. You know I'm pulling for Beef. I'm a Beef guy. Beef is a plumb better. He's a ball buster. He can shoot the shit. He can talk the shit. I like that. We need more of those guys on Twitter. But the crybabying has to stop with Beef. We all need to hold Beef accountable. Okay. Maybe some of you don't like him. Maybe some of you do like him. Whatever. We have to hold Beef accountable. Listen to me. Listen to me. This comes from a good place. We need more people out there, in my opinion, in the sports betting, gambling, Twitter sphere, whatever you want to call it, that don't take themselves seriously, that can have fun, that can, lean into the losses, and especially be able to push a button without having to look at a computer, right? If you do that, that's fine. I'm just saying, I like back to the old school where you kind of go off your gut, your plums. Big, big, big Beef supporter. Stop the bitching. I'm not a parent. I don't have kids, but this is good practice right here. Stop your bitching. Stop your whining. Stop your crybaby. Never have I seen Beef knows ball. Beef knows ball. Beef knows ball. Never have I seen a luckier stretch of touchdown scoring in my entire life. But at the same token, I give him his credit. First touchdown scorer, with Javonte Williams, W's. George Kittle, 2 touchdowns, W's. This run of touchdown scoring in the last minute is absolutely insane. I never seen anything like it. Good on Beef. Happy for the winners, but stop the babying. Stop the babying. And I'll tell you, I saw his tweet today. It said, "Oh, Cedric Wilson would have hit that if Spencer Rattler wasn't in the game." Stop that. Stop that. You knew he was the quarterback. Stop that. Stop that. Stop that. No crybabying. No crybabying. Anyways, W Beef. Bub Means. Can we stop? Can we stop with the Bub Means? I think he went over his prop. I know fucking Steak was saying Bub Means 37 times to me this entire week. I'm so glad it's over. I'm so glad. It was just like a little schoolgirl, like, "Ooh, Bub Means, ooh, Bub Means, ooh, Bub Means." It's like, dude, shut it. But he got over his prop. So W Steak. Also, listen, I didn't shit on fading Bo Nix on the road laying points. I couldn't get there. Can you see the wear and tear on my face? Like, can you kind of see it? Like, I'm getting old, I'm not a spry chicken anymore. I can't take the sick, nasty plays like I used to. And on that note, I don't even really think they're hitting as much. But there have been many times, even in the college basketball season, where I stay off of gross plays and they come through. And I'm like, oh, man, I wish I got to party with the boys. You know what I mean? With the contrarian boys, the fellas, the fucking we're hanging out, ripping cigs, being irresponsible, and we just hit a nasty contrarian play nobody wanted. It's not happening anymore. It's just not happening. Not as much. I hope it happens with the Raiders. The Raiders feel nasty. We're on the Raiders official newsletter play. He is up 150 units. I don't know how much room there is to bitch outside of jinxing myself. Yep, Cedric Wilson, cash me. That's insane. 31-1 parlay. We love to see that. Love to hear that. Anyways, good morning. I hope you guys had a great week. It's been I don't want to say it's been a long week because it was a holiday. Monday, my wife was off, and Thursday just snuck up on me. I really did. We thought about going to the game last night, to the Mets game last night. It was kind of an easy no for us. And also I remember the newsletter was due out today and I was like, oh fuck, I got to work on the newsletter. And then my wife's call ran late. It was like really fucking cold. And then when I was like watching the game, I was like, in a way, obviously I want the Mets to win, but I don't want to miss like a fucking legendary game. Like, for example, if the Guardians did, if the Mets did that last night and I wasn't there, granted, it's not my favorite team, but if I wasn't there to experience that would eat me up. That would eat me up for a really long time. You always take a risk going to a game. By the way, if you go to a game, go use SeatGeek, best ticketing app out there, promo code DGen, $20 off your first purchase, bada bing, bada boom. It would eat me up. That Guardians win was one of the coolest things I've witnessed. And I mean, I watched it from I almost watched that whole game. And the entire time, even when the Yankees were down, I said to myself, the Yankees are winning this game. The Yankees are winning this game. Nothing worse than not taking the nasty contrarian play and then Circus Sportsbook losing with. Cam's money has been so good betting on teams, players. From betting the safe. Shout out Cam. Cam's money is definitely low key one of my favorite accounts on Twitter. One of the better follows. At Cam is Money. I don't know if there's a number in there. I wish he would be a little bit more active. I think he's got a kid and a bunch of other responsibilities and whatnot. So you do what you can. But Cam is Money is a big W. I'm a big Cam fan. Big Keith, Beef fan, Cam fan. There's some good people out there. And again, my biggest pet peeve is when anybody in life takes themselves too seriously. That's my biggest pet peeve in life. Anybody who takes themselves too seriously. So like anybody who doesn't take themselves seriously and can fuck around and joke around and laugh at themselves and just bust balls and shoot the shit, like I'm in. You know what I mean? W's. As a Yankees fan, it was kind of cool. Yeah, you have to admit it. Yep. Just slurping internet dong all morning. See, this is the problem. You can't say anything good about anybody. You can't say anything good about anybody anymore. You try to fucking bring people up, applaud people, celebrate people. You try to do that. All anybody does, bro woke up today and said, I'm going to glaze the Stratosphere today. Yeah, no, that's okay. That is the Gen Z brain nowadays. That's the Gen Z brain. Everybody just goes out on social media and they get their little hits of dopamine by just shitting on people. That's okay. That's what you guys like to do, and that's totally fine. I like to applaud people and kind of shine a spotlight on people when there's a little bit of good. Holy shit, I didn't even know DGen was live and Twitch just left on my Chrome tab. What the fuck? You're either hating or glazing, no in between. Yeah, there really isn't any in between. But W Coastal, though. Coastal's a funny troll, and I'm good with it. A minute ago, he was telling Beef to quit bitching. That brain rot these motherfuckers nowadays. Yep, applauding fucks. Yeah, I agree. We have a perfect mix of Glaves and Alan Deems in this community. No, but we're done. We're done now. Okay, that's enough glazing. I remember I went on Trent's stream. This is hilarious. It's so funny to me. I went on Trent's stream and I think I said like one good thing he did. There must have been 75 comments hitting in chat. Bro doing tricks in it. Get it out of your mouth. Clean up when you're done. Boo, 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 boo. That's all these motherfuckers like nowadays. They just love reveling in fucking misery. Listen, my life ain't all rainbows and fucking sunshine. So you can't be thinking to yourself like, oh, geez, well, DJing, you just got it fucking made. Nah, brother, I ain't sitting on a big fucking inherent. It's probably like half these fucking people on Twitter out here. You got 20-year-olds with fucking $1,000 units. I ain't never seen any shit like this in my life, motherfucker. Coming up in my 20s, you know what I bet? Min bet. You know what I'm saying? So listen, I try to just fucking give a little fucking applause every now and then, all right? There's nothing wrong with it. Don't be such a hater in your life. Anyways, but at the same time, definitely, give people shit when it's warranted, when it's deserved. Let's get into it. We got 18 minutes into the stream. I have a hard stop here at about 11:55. We are going to have Mid-Major Matt join us. We might have Greg join us. You never know with Greg. You tell Greg, hey, let's record a 7:30 behind closed doors emergency meeting and talk about the games. Is that good with you? He says, yep, I'm good at after 7:15. Great. We'll see at 7:30. 7:30 hits. He says, I need 10 minutes. 10 minutes from 7:30. You do the math at 7:40. 7:40 comes around. Greg's still not there. And then he trots in at 7:48. That's how Greg rolls. That is always how he's been in life. You just never know when he's coming, when he's going to show up. He might go to the wrong airport. He might go to the wrong city. One time, Greg and I, we used to go to breakfast like once a month. We would just pick a new breakfast spot in the city and go and have breakfast. It was great. Like hour and a half, 2 hours, shoot the shit, whatever. Greg, one time, he took me to a place that had been closed for about 4 months. He took me somewhere and he was like using Foursquare. I'm like, Greg, I don't think anybody fucking uses Foursquare anymore. He was using Foursquare. You ever even heard of Foursquare? There's like Google, there's Yelp, there's all kinds of shit to find a fucking place to eat eggs and bacon. This asshole took me to a place that was closed. I couldn't believe it. Anyways, all right. My dad used to give me an option of either $5 for lunch or place a $5 bet in the games at night. That's awesome. Yeah, Foursquare is a real throwback. Yeah, I've never heard of that in my life. Yeah, you probably fucking wouldn't have. Anyways, AM Corp today, if you can see the banner, obviously there's no shared screen, but we're going to do our best. Somebody asked me if we're going to talk NFL games. Yes, we're going to run through the board. Also, we're going to see what else we have on the board. We are going to be talking NBA next week. Okay, Tuesday, we're going to have a big stream. Going to have Fat Girls come on. Excuse me. Hold on one second. Oh, no. Okay. I think, sorry. Hold on. Oh, thank goodness. Okay. They are Dude, you guys would never understand sometimes in this business. It'll blow your mind. You'll have people doing transactions for millions of dollars and they care about like $100 dining table. I'm not even kidding you. You know what it reminds me of? You know what it reminds me of? You get when I used to manage a bar in Orlando, we call them $30,000 millionaires. But people would come in and they would have like no problem going and racking up like a $600-700 bar tab. Or when I ran VIP, people will come in, they'll spend a couple $1,000s, they'll buy a fucking $1,000 bottle of champagne that costs like $180. I never really understood that. But anyways, if you were charging like a $5 cover and somebody goes to come in your club and they have thousands upon thousands of dollars ready to spend, they will kick and scream about paying a $5 cover. There is just really something about that. It's so interesting to me. It's fascinating. Yes, I ran VIP. Oh yeah. Yeah. Who did we have? We had some big guys in there come in a few times. Kills me when watching house hunters when they're buying on house and then they want to spend X thousand. I was like, oh dude, yeah. And this is like even more minuscule than that. Anyways, all right, got some buzz going on at the office here. Anyways, good morning, everybody. Thank you for tuning in as always. Court meeting. No, I don't have a court meeting. I have yeah, it's like an appointment though. Meetings are fucking useless. People have meetings just to fucking feel like they're working and doing something. Way too many meetings. Going to a wedding this weekend. Need to know if one button is the move on the suit jacket or no button at all. You mean like button it up to your neck? I'm not a button up to your neck guy. No fucking way. I mean, my tie days are over, dude. I have such a fat neck. It's unbelievable. Fuck cover though, respectfully, unless there's a ban. Yeah, listen. Right. I don't totally disagree. But you also have to keep in mind, after having running a bar, like there's always a perspective. You say fuck cover. If you run a business and run a bar business, you will understand a little bit more. Some motherfuckers come in there, and especially if you have a tight occupancy where you only fit like 80 people, some motherfuckers will come in there and they'll buy 3 Bud Lights, which at the time were like maybe $5, and they'll fucking take up a spot the entire night, 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. I am not kidding. You know what I mean? They just want to stand there and be there. You know what I mean? And I hope some fucking chick walks by and rubs their ass on them. So cover is kind of a way to establish like, all right, at least we made some free profit off of you. We don't care. No, he meant the suit jacket. Oh, one button. You want a button for when you're walking about. Yep. Off topic. You ever watch Owning Manhattan on Netflix? I have. Is that the Ryan Serhant show? No, I don't know. Is that it? Yeah. I kind of liked it. Which I didn't think I would. I usually hate those stupid fucking real estate shows. All right. Anyways, let's keep moving. Let's talk a little bit about the board. We're gonna have mid-major Matt and Greg maybe join us. We'll talk NFL. We have some college football games tonight, guys. We have 4 college football games tonight. Let's do what we can. Okay, let's run through these quick. FSU and Duke. I'd like to know where you guys stand on this game, because I think I fucking love. People are walking by like crazy today. There's like 4 people in the office, but they're all fucking walking by. Let me tell you a secret. Okay. I don't know where the microphone is on this thing. All right. I don't know where the microphone is. Let me tell you a secret. Come here. Psst. Another motherfucker just walked by. I think Duke is going to kick the shit out of FSU tonight. What say you? What say you? Boots on ground in Bloomington this weekend for IU homecoming. Hoosiers 6.5. Yep. Official newsletter play Miggy W's. Anybody agree or disagree? FSU is a little dog shit. Yep. Dude, fuck FSU. Then it says shit loudly. Yep, sorry. What do you guys think? I think Duke's going to kill him. What's the total in this game? 42. Duke is -3, -3.5. I think Duke fucking rolls. That's what I think. I think Duke rolls. Am I going to play it? I don't know. By the way, first half on that Virginia Tech game last night, not saying it was a great bet. You cover your eye. You look, one team has 0 points. You think, ooh, I'm in good shape. Virginia Tech scoring with 16 seconds left to go over, 24.5, and they had 21 when it would have been nice if they just took a field goal. That one stung my soul a little bit. Greg, good morning. Thank you for being
here. Good morning.
Actually, we shouldn't talk about religion. I was going to say, sometimes this always comes in my head.
Let's talk religion, and then let's get into politics.
I haven't been to church in a long time, but when you say like, peace be with you, you used to say, and also with you.
And you say now you say and with your spirit.
And with your spirit. That's what
Was
it
that
is.
a trivia question?
Sort of. No, because trivia would mean that I knew it. That was more of like, can you help me out?
Gotcha.
Greg. Thanks, Greg, for hanging out. Are you, what is that? Is that a dress shirt or is that like a casual shirt?
It's like a flannel, somewhere in
Nice.
between.
Yep. You are a flannel guy. Flannel Greg.
It's
Flannel
flannel
Greg.
weather.
It is flannel weather. Mid-major Matt should be joining us in about 5 minutes or so.
Boo.
Greg, I was running through college football. Did you bet anything last night?
No, I didn't.
Are you? Yeah, you know what? You're not really a college guy. Let's talk MLB. What do we have today? We've got the Dodgers and we've got the Mets. I think the Mets
Yankees are playing too.
Yeah, I was just looking at the first game, 5:00. Oh wait, they play at 5 tonight. Oh, I couldn't go to this game even if I wanted to.
I
Dodgers.
think tonight's the game to go because I think everybody's kind of like it's over.
Well, that's what I was thinking. I was hoping it was at 8. I can't do it now though. Total 7.5. We got Peterson against Flaherty. You got to think backs against the wall. What is it? 3-1? The Dodgers win?
Yeah, the Dodgers are going to win the World Series.
The Dodgers could go to the World Series tonight.
They're going to win the World Series.
No, they're not.
Yeah, they are.
Are you jinxing it? You have a Yankees?
No, I think they are. It seems like they got over that hump, beat the Padres, and they're not slowing down.
Okay, but hold on. In all seriousness, brought to you by Troy Franklin and Cedric Wilson. Very funny. Fat Girls with 10 sub banks. Get the fuck out of here, Fat Girls.
Wow.
Dave Martinez with a sub bank. Fat Girls with a sub bank. We've got like 30, 40 fucking subs this morning, dude. We're setting a record over here. Greg's right, I think. People are saying you're right about the fucking Dodgers going to win the World Series. I hope you're wrong. So in this game, well, actually, let's not even talk about the X's and O's. Do you think that the Mets go out with a little fight?
I think they do. I think they win tonight and then lose in 6.
Okay. Well, on that note, we can get them at a plus price, plus 115. Do you think any thoughts on betting them?
Yeah, why not? One more time.
So Peterson and Flaherty. Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Peterson?
Flaherty's so good though.
Flaherty?
Yeah.
But has he been pitching well? Hold on.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
He shut him out week 1 or game 1.
Oh, he did. So he pitched game 1. Okay, but this is what I'm thinking. He got wrecked in against the Padres. Flaherty has been nice with it. Yeah. How do you feel about the Mets team total over?
I don't hate it. I think all these games have been going over. I think every one of them's gone over.
You'd be right.
And they've got shut out twice, so why not?
That's fucking sad, actually. I didn't even realize that. Let's see. Okay, I'm looking at the history here, so I don't have a shared screen. I'm looking at the history. What's the Mets cash out now? Oh, God, Phils.
Dude, they're not even offering it. They're not even offering it, which makes me think they lose. Like, I tried to peek after game 2, and it wasn't even offered. So I was like, FanDuel knows they got my money, and they're not giving me anything back.
Well, I got it on DraftKings, so let's see. Hold on.
I mean, they're probably where I got them at 14-1, I want to say. They're probably 25-1.
All right, here we go. Moment of truth. Open. Oh,
not offered.
No, it's offered. So it's $100 at 20-1.
Mm-hmm.
The cash out was up to $377. It is back down to $48.16.
Do you regret not taking your hypothetical 2,200 cash out?
Yeah, I'd probably take that right about now because that's the winning amount plus the ticket cost plus an extra 100 for a thank you. So
yeah, you'd probably take it.
That was stupid.
You were confident though.
I was overly confident. I get overly confident sometimes. I'm a sucker for being a prisoner of the moment.
Although if anyone were to blow a 3-1 lead, it could be the Dodgers.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Okay. Well, why would you say that?
Because I think I just want to believe. I just want to believe. It's a nice looking ticket. I don't want to rip it up yet.
If something could happen, it would be the Dodgers that do it, but I don't think they do it. All right. Well, listen, I think I'm going to go with the Mets team total today. I'm looking at the player history here. It's not great. Nemo, though, I'm showing Nemo hasn't faced Flaherty. That can't be right. Maybe RotoWire doesn't update the yep. Okay, he was 0 for 3. Wow. The only let's see. Winker got a hit. Iglesias got a hit. I mean, yeah, he was flawless. He was absolutely flawless.
I have a hypothetical for the chat. So Flaherty, obviously, the Tigers had him and they traded him at the break before they got hot. Has a pitcher ever gotten traded and faced his former team in the World Series? I know the Tigers are eliminated, but it was just something like it could happen for that brief period of time. And I was like, I feel like that's never happened before.
Nemo, sorry. I don't know. You asked the chat. Degen has the worst pronunciation.
Yeah, of course I didn't ask you.
Wait, give me a fucking break, dude. Greg said Breesy Hall.
That was weeks ago.
I know. Hey, listen, we can't be perfect, all right? That a boy, not but definitely has happened, says Dilly.
You said Reese Rice, so I mean that cancels out right there.
I said Rishi. No, Riche. What did I say? Rishi. Is it Riche? I don't even remember what it is anymore.
I don't know. You were very wrong. You were equally wrong as Breesy. Nobody
really cares that much unless it's on your fantasy team. Okay, I like the Mets team total. Simple capping on this. I think the Mets are going to go down without a fight. Are they dead? Maybe. But you know what, Greg? I said that about the Guardians last night. Cleveland had probably one of the best wins I've ever seen a team have.
Big Christmas is such a cool nickname.
Whose nickname is that again? Is that David Friday?
So his last name's Noel. God help me. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his first name. Yeah, but I just think I think his nickname's that because his last name's Noel, but that's such a cool nickname.
I was going to say I didn't get it.
That's my only. I have no idea.
No, it's good. It's good. I think you're right. John Skeeny. That game was electric. Yep. Oh, what's up, BK and YouTube? How we doing? Yes, I am in the office on a Friday. I have a 12.
Dude, BK, surprisingly terrible golfer. I thought he was going to be good. He was on that simulator. He was terrible.
Yeah, I beat him on the simulator. It was.
Yeah, it makes sense.
You know, he brought a glove, right?
Yeah, that's wild to bring your own glove and then just shoot like that.
Oh, and then he was acting like he was too cool to use it. That's a move I've never seen before. I'm going to bring this glove and then be like, I'm not using the glove. Okay.
That's why I was shanking everything.
I don't know that it's going to suck. Degen,
no, it's great. That's great. Come on, don't say Dodgers Yankees is going to suck. That's the two best teams. That's a great outcome.
Yeah, it would be. It would be awesome.
Fox is going to print money on that.
Degen's free kicks on the simulator were although that goalie was unbelievable.
Dude, the sensors on that thing sucks when we were all trying to pitch.
I know. I thought I threw some heat here and there, but it didn't really work out.
I don't think the velocity sensor was off. I think the up-down sensor was off. I think we were all throwing mid-40s pretty confidently.
Okay, hold on. I have a question. For the chat. Chat. Yankees, Guardians. I thought the Guardians were dead. They were far from dead. Far from it. Now, tonight, Luis Gil is pitching. I like Luis Gil. And I'm looking here. Tell me if I'm wrong. I don't see him. Has he pitched at all in the postseason?
I mean, I don't think so because the first game was
Cole, Rodon, Schmidt. Cole, Rodon, Cole.
No, the first series went 4, so maybe he threw in there. Since September 20th, yeah.
He did, yeah. Cole, Rodon, Schmidt, Cole.
That makes sense. You're trying to close them out on the road, go back to Cole. But I think in this situation, you go Gil.
So I know the Guardians don't strike out, but I like Gil. Now, the last time he pitched was against Pittsburgh Pirates. It was terrible. 6 innings.
Pirates won. What a win total that was. What a sweat. 75.5, and they got 76. You know how close that is in baseball?
Do I know how close it is to go over 75.5 with 76 wins? Greg, that's about as close as you can get.
It's tight. They needed to win 2 or 3 against the Yankees, and they got it.
You can't get any closer than that because if you don't have 76, you have 75 and you lose.
Yeah, you can get equally as closer at 74 and just miss, but oh no, 75.
Jesus
Either
Christ.
way, it's a half game. Yeah.
I knew something stupid was coming. Anyways, looking at Luis Gil, before that Pirates game, he did have a nice little 3-game stretch coming up. Okay, so the last time he pitched against the Guardians, oh God, it did not go well. Oh, Jesus. Oh my.
Bounce back.
3 innings, 78 pitches, 3 hits, 3 earned. Listen to this, Greg. You listening?
Uh-huh.
How many walks do you think Luis Gil had against the Guardians? 3 innings.
78 pitches is a lot, so I'm going to guess 4.
6.
Wow. He's walking 2 guys an inning. That's bad. I think he gets it under. Something about that guy makes me think he's a big game guy. I think he'll get bumped to the number 3 guy after this, actually. And I will say I didn't bet it, but I went to the liquor store yesterday just to grab a couple bottles of wine. And the guy there is like, he's a super nice guy, but he's decked out in all Yankee stuff. So I was talking to him. And I was like, man, like it didn't really hit me until I was talking to him. And shame on me, I should have bet it. But I was like, if the Yankees drop one, I feel like it'll be this one. And sure enough, they absolutely should have won if they got down to the last out and gave up that 2-run shot. But
do you have a bottle of wine every night?
No. Thursday though. Thursdays we did steak last night. Baby had her first steak. So
Baby had the first steak.
yeah.
Nice. You know what I made for dinner?
Oh,
I kind of tweeted about it. That's why I was wondering if you saw it.
like shepherd's pie. I don't know. What do fat people eat during the week?
No, but you're not far off. So I did get chicken thighs, and I saw they had this. There was like this seasoning called like lemon butter garlic seasoning. So I seasoned the chicken thighs, cast iron, always cast iron. Did you have a cast iron yet?
Yes, of course.
Okay, thank God. Cast iron in the oven, but I don't know why. Even my wife asked me, "Why did you think of making this?" I just wanted a loaded baked potato. So I got a baked potato. Do you know
What do
how
you mean you don't know why?
why I was craving a baked potato? Do you know how long you have to bake a potato in the oven, by the way? Don't Google it.
20 minutes?
Dude, that's what I thought. Bro, 55 minutes.
Turn up the heat. Get that down to 35.
That apparently that doesn't do anything.
I'm sure the temperature does something.
I'm telling you got to put the fucking potato in the oven for 55 minutes.
Double the heat half the time. Works every time.
Greg, go put the oven at 500, put a potato in it for 20 minutes. I'm telling you, it doesn't work. Anyways, potato, some fucking cheese, broiled it, cooked bacon crumbles on top, chives, freshly chopped chives, cheese. I already said cheese and sour cream.
Yeah.
Molto Bene, it was delicious, but ate a little bit later than I wanted to, like 8:15.
Starch, sour cream, cheese. Yep. Checks all the boxes.
All the things you don't like. I know if you're not
I have nothing against.
If you're not eating fucking salmon, you're eating a raw carrot.
We eat a lot of fish.
You see this? I agree.
Don't trust me with what?
Well, you because you don't like condiments, you don't like cheese, you don't like sour cream.
I like condiments. I just don't like. I don't worship mayonnaise.
The only thing you like is like mustard, and that's such an old curmudgeon thing to only like. I only like mustard.
I like mustard. I like mustard more than mayo.
It's disgusting.
It's got more diversity. It's the most diverse topping condiment.
No.
You're gonna get aioli, and then you got mayonnaise. What else you got?
You're okay, but every base of aioli is practically mayonnaise. That is diverse. Mayonnaise goes in tuna. Mayonnaise goes in.
Okay, you can put a lot of things on a lot of things. I'm saying with mustard, you get honey mustard, you get regular yellow mustard, you get Dijon. That's 3 very distinct types of mustard.
That's fine. That's a fair take. This is crazy. I don't know who thinks Greg is a plain hot dog diet. Very funny.
No bun.
What is it? No bun. You've used that joke before. It came out way too quick.
Dude, I've been using that joke for a decade.
Greg is the type of guy to use pepper as a spicy seasoning. No, I don't really think you're a pepper guy. I'm not really a big pepper guy.
Yeah, we use a lot of pepper.
Okay, Mets team total over. Yankees. Get back to business.
I'm going Yankees.
Really?
Yeah, I'm going Yankees. I feel like they're the type of team with high expectations. Like they kind of can crack and fold, but I think expectations are back to low on the Yankees. Like, especially with the way they lost last night, I think Cleveland's going to be feeling pretty good. But going into this, I said Yankees in 5. I'm sticking with it.
So I have a question for the chat. Is Gavin Williams the guy that is slated to pitch tonight? He hasn't pitched since September 22nd. Is that correct? That's not good. I don't think. Has Gavin Williams pitched? Can anybody tell me? I'm looking at his stats right now on covers. Who Gavin Williams is really good? Dude, how are you gonna have a guy that hasn't pitched in almost a month go against the Yankees?
How are you gonna have a guy that hasn't pitched in almost a month go against the Guardians?
Oh, you did? My bad, JP. I didn't see that.
I don't think that minus 115 is too telling. They were minus 115 last night, and they lost. But
Yeah, that's true.
I do think Judge is coming around, and that's a problem.
Yep, big problem. Okay, without further ado, we have Mid-Major Matt coming in. Mid-Major, how are you?
Hello, gentlemen. How are you?
Doing good. I love the angle that you're in, by the way. You kind of look like an undercover cop.
He's just trying to make his arm look big. He probably did a bunch of curls with one arm right before this.
Yeah,
Hello.
I mean, I got the smallest size shirt I could find at the Halloween store, and I sat as close as possible to my mic and my camera.
Very well.
But yeah, nice to see you, gentlemen. Greg, it's been a while since we talked. Last week wasn't really an official date.
Yeah,
but
last
nice
week
to
was a
see
bit
you, sir.
messy.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Um,
I've got unfortunately I've got an appointment that was at 12:30, moved up to 12:15. Now it's at 12. I'm going to be a little late, but I've got like a strong 40 to 45 minutes here.
Okay.
So as much as I would love to dick around and shoot the shit because it's one of my favorite things to do in life, let's get down to what's that saying? Brass tacks. What's up, Greg?
I have a question for Matt.
yes.
Did you live in Europe at any point in your life?
No.
Why do you go off of kilometers?
I haven't run like long enough to make not kilometers, a scale I reference. So I've only run 5Ks and 10Ks outside of cross country, which was fucking 20 years ago. So I just still use that as reference.
Okay.
Does that make sense? I know. So
Sort of.
I haven't yet done a marathon and I haven't yet done a half marathon. I'm training to those, but I'm still
There you
just
go.
running like 10Ks max. So
What are you gonna do? You get some good ones out by you, man.
Yeah, so I was looking up at the San Francisco one. That intrigues me for sure, and then there's one in San Diego. So I'm debating
Big
between the
Sur's-
two.
Dude, Big Sur is amazing.
That's gonna be rough though, Big Sur. That's not
Big
an easy
Sur's
run.
rough.
Yeah, it's
Big
not-
Sur is rough.
Are these guys serious? Are these guys serious? Am I being fucked with? Did they set this up ahead of time? They had to have set this up ahead of time. Did you guys plan this?
No, I wanted. He put something about running. I wanted to ask him, but Big
I
Sur, I
literally
remember.
just said I have 40 minutes and we have to get down to brass tacks, and you're doing this on purpose.
I'm not. Dude, I can talk about this stuff for a long time.
Greg, I literally just said, as much as I'd like to bullshit, we can't bullshit. And then now you start bullshitting and you said I can talk about this. I know you can. Are you
Let's
frozen?
get in it. Somebody asked half marathon PR. I think 131.
Please stop. Please stop. Please stop.
I'm not saying shit.
Are you done?
Let's go.
Are you done?
We get a big game in London. I felt like talking about kilometers was a good segue into the London game.
That was a great segue.
That was phenomenal. Listen,
They're changing it. It's not yards,
Stop.
it's meters.
can you are you doing this on purpose? I think you're doing this on purpose.
I got to
Antonio
be fair,
just
DJ,
said
I got shit
over
for
meters.
posting kilometers too. So
Of
I
course
see
you
I
did.
see where it's coming from.
No. It's a great time to hash it out. This is like the people's court. I'm Judge Judy. Let's see if Greg will approve your reasoning for kilometers.
I don't need his
Absolutely.
approval. I'm just justifying my angle for it, my perspective. Anyways, can we move the fuck on, host?
Yeah,
Yes.
but I'm gonna move on. I don't want to move on to the Jags Patriots game. I don't think that really deserves much attention. But Matt, if you have a play in the game, if you do, feel free to share
I'm playing the Jacks.
it.
I mean, we're short for time today, so I won't give you too much. I said it last week, and it's why I was on the Texans. This Patriots defense is fucking terrible. And I think we
Bad.
saw it, right? I think we saw it against last week against the Texans. The run defense is really bad. It's okay, the run defense. Mixon just looked incredible. But the pass defense is really, really bad. Christian Gonzalez is good at covering his only guy in the field that he does. Everyone else, fucking terrible. And I know I posted shit about Trevor Lawrence last week about how poorly he was playing. I also rewatched the game. They dropped like fucking 3 touchdowns when the game was relatively close. And being in London for 2 weeks, I think there's just somewhat of an advantage for Jacksonville. Peterson has to be playing for his job. This is their definite season. You know, if I'm just playing the do factor, if you would, there's no sharp reasoning to it. I think the Patriots are really bad. And like I said last week, the people who are betting the Patriots, I don't think a single one of them would have bet them if Jacoby Brissett was in. Now, I will stand by that. And I still stand by people think that Drake made the offense look good, even though they lost by 20 points at home. They still want to bet them going across the seas against one of the worst looking teams in the Jaguars. So them laying 6 points in the Jags against a really bad team in the Patriots, I just want to play the Jags here because their pass defense is just atrocious.
Everything you say makes perfect sense. Greg, do you have a play in this game?
I would rather not bet it, but I might get there with the over. I think this could be a pretty high scoring game on both sides.
So
And even if the Jags get ahead, I think Drake May's textbook just garbage time.
Yeah, I would agree there. The only thing that I don't like about Drake May when I watched him last week, and then when I was watching the Jags defense, on paper, they're one of the worst in the league for sure in terms of completion percent and yards allowed. My issue is they play like 2 high safeties, so everything they allow is underneath, like kind of short to mid range, right? That's not what Drake May is. He wants to throw bombs, and we saw it last week. He wants to throw the ball downfield, and he wants to force it. So I personally fear for a team that can't get any pressure in the Patriots that they fall behind early, and a team that can get pressure in the front 4 with the defensive line and the Jags. I think it just is kind of the worst matchup, if you would, for the Patriots. So I do like the over, but I think you're gonna have to rely on a couple made bombs again, like you did last week, to stay relatively close to be competitive.
Okay,
just my reason.
Yeah, very fair. I do think the over probably correlates to the Jags. Jags offense could have themselves a day. Hobie says Evan Ingram 4 TDs. I don't know why Steak says 5 TDs. This motherfucker spitting. And then we got a Tank Bigsby masterclass. I have a feeling that like you think people are going to be taking the Patriots, but I don't think they are.
I don't think they are.
Yeah, I think when you look at the game Sunday morning, you're going to see a lot of people are taking Jacksonville. Everything you said makes sense. I'm nervous about this one thing. They may have already given up on Peterson.
Yeah, you're right. Can I say one more thing, if you don't mind?
Of course.
So one of the things I really do like about the Jags is somehow, some way, they're like 5th on run play efficiency. They never fucking run the ball, but when Bigsby's in the backfield, their efficiency when they run is top 5 in the league. So maybe they change their play calling. I don't know, but against a bad Patriots defense, I can see that playing a factor.
Okay, very fair. All right, let's get into the Sunday day slate. And just real quick, again, thank you for the sub banks. Fucking Thrasher with 5, Nutbuster with 10, and Fat Girls, big W's with another 10 too. Awesome hype train on a Friday. Okay. Well, I guess, I mean, we could kind of touch on the games that we like and what we want to play. But Matt, while you're here, I'd really like to get your thoughts on the plays that we have in the newsletter. I love when you push back on them. And again, I've said this many times, but you've been more right than wrong. I think anytime we've consulted with you or I've consulted with you about a bet, I have been terrible with best bets. You've called it out every time. Talk to me about the Texans and Packers. Steak likes a square over in this game. I lean Texans, but Greg and Steak both like the Packers. I think I'm going to stay off of a side. I'll tail the over, obviously. And if you don't have anything in this game, that's fine. You don't need to force it. But do you have anything you do or don't like in Texans Packers?
Yeah, so I have to do one of my idols is Trump, and he loves to do this thing called the weave. So I'm going to weave a little bit. You have both NFC opponents in the Vikings and the Packers at home, right? They both opened up 2.5-point favorites. One against the Texans, out division opponent. One against the Lions, who are just the best team in the world right now. Just from that standpoint, I think the more comfortable bet to take from a dog perspective is the Lions when they just won by 40. Best offense in the league. Their defense looks phenomenal. As opposed to the Texans, where Stroud's record on the road is quite poor, even a year and a half in, and he's still without Nico Collins, perhaps the top 5 receiver in the league. Mm-hmm. So I think the Texans are a less comfortable bet from that perspective. I do like the over from Steak's perspective, and I think I mentioned it to you earlier this week. I was looking past at the Packers' opponents that they've had to face on defense. Not fucking great. Mm-hmm. Their schedule has been fairly easy in terms of opposing quarterbacks, and I feel like that kind of shows its head this week, especially after they played the Cardinals defense when they essentially did no wrong. And the Cardinals were a pretty popular dog. If you had to pick one last week, I could see, getting 5.5 points after beating the Niners outright, being fairly popular. I posted it as an early lean. As throughout the week, as I digested, it just seemed as if it was not too comfortable of a bet to take, if you would. In terms of the over, I do like it. However, I could see also the Texans just running out the clock, limiting possessions, obviously, and just keeping Jordan Love off the field because he does make magic, as we know. But at the same time, he's not a very efficient passer in terms of completion percentage. So if he's not hitting those big plays on a consistent route or consistent effort, we see him struggle. And we saw it against the Vikings when they just went up 28-0 and all they did was score in garbage time. I'm good with the over. I prefer the Texans personally.
Okay, fair enough. Greg, no last second thoughts on between Packers Texans, I'm assuming.
No, I'm going to take the over, and like I said, I get a parlay that the first leg of it cashed last night, so I'm fine having Packers at plus 180 for this game at money line.
Yeah.
Okay. Matt, we came very close to taking the Dolphins against the Colts. I think it didn't make the newsletter. It might make our circa 5 entry.
We gotta look at that, DJ, because I think we get all dogs, and that is not where I want to be this week.
That's a good point.
Okay. I still like the Dolphins. I don't want to keep making the same mistake. I bet on the Dolphins as a dog with a backup quarterback already in Seattle. I like the Dolphins, not even so much because it's them. I want to fade the Colts in this spot. Back-to-back divisional road games, then another divisional road game after this. Just a weird scheduling spot playing the Dolphins at home, and you've got the Dolphins coming off a bye. Total at 43.5. I kind of like the over as well, or maybe just points from Miami. So we talked about our masterclass candidates, maybe an Achane game. Greg, maybe you said it or Steak said it on the podcast, but like Hill has got to get involved at some point. So you'd have to imagine that if Achane's back and he's healthy, one of the two are going to go off. It's got to be an emphasis on getting those dudes the ball. I like the Dolphins. Are you playing the Dolphins? Do you have a thought in that game?
You're talking to me, right?
Yeah.
Greg, do you also you guys are all agreed on Dolphins?
We did. The more I think about it, I'm probably not going to play them. I'm just going to give them the 2 weeks until Tua's back. I don't see any reason to go to Ty Huntley in this spot. I mean, like I said, I don't think dogs. I don't think I want to take a ton of underdogs, and that's where my card's looking. So if I got to cut one, I'm more than happy to cut the Dolphins.
Fucking love the Dolphins.
Really?
I do. I got them at +4. I took the money line also just yesterday. I think they win this game. And it's fucking Anthony Richards starting for sure from what I hear, and I don't love that. Yeah. So I kind of want to fade that. The thing I really want to fade is we saw last week, and I gave Steak shit about it for betting the Titans, obviously, and Will Levis. But he locked in the play on Wednesday, right? And for your best bets. And still on Wednesday, when all the fucks turned the line from the Colts -1 and 2 to fucking Titans -2.5, it was supposed to be Will Levis. No, it's supposed to be Rudolph versus AR, I believe. That was obviously wrong. So I'm now fading that news this week. But it's more so just fading that Colts defense. It's fucking bad. And one of the worst parts of it is their run defense. And DGen, and I'll bring Greg up on this hill that I'm absolutely going to die on. I think McDaniels is a loser head coach. His play calling is atrocious. He has no grit, if you would. DGen is a Mike Allstott guy. He's the exact opposite of a Mike Allstott guy. He'll run a triple reverse sweep to get half a yard on 4th and 1. And it never goes well. That being said, this is the Dolphins season. You said Tua gets back in 2 weeks. If they don't win this game, they're not going to have a winning record, and they have no chance at it. So with 2 weeks with a veteran quarterback, with an offensive genius head coach, not a great coach, but an offensive genius in McDaniels, I think they can absolutely find ways to pick apart this really bad Colts defense. And that was the thought last week with Will Levis. It's just, unfortunately, Will Levis is the worst quarterback I've ever seen in my life, outside of Deshaun Watson. The worst part of the Colts defense is not surprisingly the pass defense, it's their rushing attack. And we know that McDaniels loves to run the ball. Last week they didn't have Achane. It really threw a wrench in the socket. They have Achane back. Everyone's healthy off concussion. They have the offensive line is healthy. I know Tyler Huntley can't throw the ball more than 15 yards down the field. I don't think he has to. I think the RPO with how bad this Colts defense is just keeps AR off the field. And I think that the points don't really matter here, and the Dolphins win outright.
I'm in. Greg, in?
I might be convinced to take Dolphins team total over.
I like that too.
Speaking of that, Greg, with the pass, do you care to guess what it's at? The Dolphins team total over?
Yeah, I care.
20.5.
Yeah. So does that make sense? It doesn't make sense. Looking at their most recent offensive outputs, what does that make you feel? So they've scored 20 with their entire offense, 10 with Tua for 2.5 quarters, 3 with Huntley, 12 with Huntley, 15 with Huntley.
The only thing is the Colts
Colts defense.
defense is so bad,
Yeah.
but I get what you're saying.
But you have
and to be clear, what my guess on that is because the total's at 43, and I know the Dolphins are 3-point dogs, so that's just that's what it has to be.
Good math.
I agree, but at the same time, when I factor that in,
Highlight BK.
Nuke.
that's a liberal take if I've ever seen one, man. But you take that and you tell me the line's at 20.5. It's 19.5 minus 150 on Bovada, juice to the over, and you're seeing juice to the over on the Dolphins as the road underdog. So that's what I also want to reference. The line seems to be in favor of the road underdog that's looked fucking terrible, as opposed to the home favorite that's getting a starting quarterback back. So that it feels like they're telling me it looks like the Dolphins are going to score some points here.
Okay, I'm in. Mid-major, let's go to Greg's best bet, and I hope you're going to tell us good things, but don't please try to find bad things to tell us if you're not on this side.
I forgot what it was. I read it this morning, but
that's okay. That's okay. You don't have to pretend you read it. We appreciate all you do for the degenerates.
Is it the Steelers at home against the Cowboys? Because they're sharp?
No. It's the Seahawks on the road in Atlanta.
Oh, that's right.
3. No, maybe we got 3. I think we got 3.
It's 3.
It opened up 3.5, right? And I think it's sitting at 3 now.
I thought it was 2.5. It finally got to 3. I could be wrong, but anyways, total's up to 51.5, which is a bit high, but I guess it kind of makes sense with what the Falcons have been doing. I love it. This is my favorite bet of Greg's this season. I'm going to be on it, and I'm also. He mentioned he's going to be doing the Seahawks team total over. I want to hammer it. I want to make it one of my biggest plays of the season. I think the Seahawks are going to score some points. And before I say anything more, and before Greg has anything to add, obviously it's in the newsletter. Here you go, W newsletter. Go to thegeneralweekly.com, subscribe for free. What are your thoughts on Atlanta in this spot with a revenge match coming up in Tampa on deck?
Why is it a revenge match? They beat the Buccaneers the first
It's a revenge match from my perspective.
It's for you personally, yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
So you asked me what my thoughts are on the Falcons?
I'm asking you what your thoughts are. Well, yeah, but I'm asking you what your thoughts are on Greg's best bet being the Seahawks and us potentially double dipping in this game with a team total. Seahawks team total is 23.5. You're a fucking Geno guy this year. Admit it.
Yeah. The Seahawks get a do from mid-major. I don't know if Greg gets that, but I know Deacon does.
I don't know if you said doom or boom.
I think he said doom.
Doom.
He said doom.
Doom.
That's not good. That's not good.
It's not good. No, I'm sorry. I said boom. Boom.
Oh, you said boom.
I'm sorry, dude. I'm not that fucking smart. Boom is the fucking flex.
Yeah.
Boom.
I don't know if they do it on both.
You had this whole move.
B for banana. B for boy. Boom.
You fucking just doomed us when you meant to boom us. You had one job.
I did.
You had one fucking job.
I apologize. I boomed it. Booming all over the Seahawks. I'm not joking. I'm going to boom all over the Seahawks this weekend. I agree.
I feel like you're switching it because you saw how upset it made me.
No,
I don't think you would do that.
I thought you were laughing because you loved it. Yeah, I boomed it.
You didn't boom it, but you meant to boom it.
I meant to boom it. I don't give a fuck about your feelings, okay, sir? I meant to boom it.
I'm shook right now. I'm just shook. Okay, tell us why you're booming the Seattle Seahawks.
So first off, I from a line perspective, I absolutely see what Greg's seeing, right? Line perspective.
Turning my volume up when nobody's around in the office because I can't hear, and then I have to turn it down when I see people come by. Go ahead.
Line perspective, I absolutely agree with what Greg's saying. From a spot perspective, I absolutely agree with what you're saying. From a paper perspective, from a football perspective, that's the Falcons. I've mentioned to you this before at some point. The Falcons' run D is really fucking bad. And you know what Mike McDonald wants to do? A young head coach on the road. They want to run the ball. The Seahawks offensive line has had its injuries before. They look fairly healthy here. Maybe just the tackle it's still questionable. But I see that Kenneth Walker is going to have a fucking day on Sunday. I don't know if you guys have talked about him yet. Maybe you'll talk about him on Sunday for your prop talk.
Stakes all over him.
Masterclass
I
candidate.
love him. Geno Smith has the most passing yards in the NFL. We know that. I mean, he's playing great. Team isn't playing great. Most passing yards. But I think this is a Kenneth Walker game up and down the field because we know if they get an offensive shootout, if they start throwing the ball, and they try to match Kirk Cousins in a dome, they're gonna lose, right? Like they're just not gonna be able to keep up. You got to keep Kirk Cousins off the field. You got to keep that offense off the field, and that's through Kenneth Walker. You get this McDonald's offense with those blitzes, less more so than more so. So don't give them time to adjust in the second half. Keep the fucking possession. Keep the ball. I hate the spot for the Falcons. I told you last week I like the Panthers in some way. I ended up on the over, which I hit, thankfully. The Falcons have played such an easy schedule so far. I think they played 4 of the first 5 games at home. Then they played a game on the road at Carolina, who's not too far away from them. Now they play another goddamn home game with, like you said, another division game next week. I think this is a really bad spot for a Falcons team who I think is overrated. And their defense, the best part of the defense is their passing defense. And Kenneth Walker absolutely has a fucking day and eats whatever he wants.
Greg, did you just spill your coffee?
No.
Oh, I thought you were reaching because you dropped something. Love everything Mid-Major Matt said. And yes, it does align with what Greg was when he brought up this bet. Stakes immediate thought was Kenneth Walker's going to have a day. So
Good.
He's on the master candidate list. At the same time, I think that Justin Simmons or one or two of the Falcons secondary players might be hurt in this game. Greg, you're better at injuries than me. So I think Geno, here's what I think. I think the pass is going to be there. I think Geno is going to unleash some fucking bombs. I see a DK bomb on the horizon, especially, you guys remember what was going around on Twitter? The clip of him putting the headset on and saying, Grub, can we throw sticks? Fuck. And then
there's even rumors about him getting traded.
DK, longest reception. DK to score when he burned everybody on top of Kenneth Walker, because Kenneth Walker is going to go nuts, and I think he's going to set it all up. Greg, the reasoning for Greg's bet is in the newsletter. I just shared the link again, but is there anything you'd like to add after Mid-Major just boom?
No, I just think, the Seahawks came out the year, they started 3-0, and then they had a really tough spot. And not only was it 3 games in 10 days, but it was 2 of them were in prime time against 2 of the best teams in the NFC, right? Mm-hmm. And Steak had a good point when we were doing our kind of behind closed doors call that we published to everyone, so not really behind closed doors, but where the Seahawks just didn't quit in that Lions game, right? This team's got some fight and they want to play. And if they lose this game, it's a big problem because next week they play the Bills and then you're 3-5. That's where the season really gets away from you. So they can be 4-4 and still make the playoffs. They can't be 3-5.
Great job.
Okay. Last thing, just to boom the Seahawks one more time, is like Greg just added, the last 3 weeks they played 2 of the best teams in the NFC. Those 2 teams run the ball at the top 5 most efficient way, if you would, EPA wise, in the entire NFL. The Falcons do not do that at all. They're an average running the ball team. They love to throw the ball, so I absolutely think this is just a great matchup there as well. That's the Seahawks defense, is they can't stop the run.
Yep, love this comment. Seahawks fans try to trade DK every year, week 8 or 9, and then he has a monster game.
Yeah,
yep, love it. Okay,
that's a great nugget.
So let's talk about the Raiders and the Rams. We are getting nasty with this one, and we're kind of putting our pro better hat on, if you will. Very large size hat for me. We're not high on the Rams. I think we all collectively faded the Rams. I said it was going to be one of my favorite takes, and then Steak stole my bitch a couple weeks later and said it was his favorite take. The Rams defense is nothing to be fearful of. So much so that I have confidence in Aiden O'Connell in this Raiders offense, with Zamir White getting 2.7 yards a carry, finding some success against them. The Rams are coming out of a bye. Greg has some good nuggets there with McVay coming out of a bye in the newsletter write-up. But simply what we're doing, back to me saying we're putting our professional better hats here, is because sometimes I think they look at the number and think that a team should just not be favored by this much. You had a great read a couple weeks ago when I shamed you for saying that the Giants +7 against the Browns was one of your favorite bets, and you had the money line because you said simply the Browns should not be -7 against anyone. Kind of feel that same way about the Rams here, and for that reason, we are just going to take the team, not even so much betting the Raiders, taking the team getting 7 because we don't feel the Rams deserve that much. Any thoughts?
Yeah, so I do not agree with you guys here.
Okay.
And I am aware that the Raiders are, I guess, the pro play because I have heard it quite or few and far between from some of the few podcasts I listen to. It's more so everything you said I agree with. But for me, at the end of the day, it's Sean McVay, and we talked about this last week. I want to fade teams coming out of the bye week, depending on how they went into the bye week. Now, when you consider the Rams and that, let's talk about the Chargers. They went in the bye week with a 2-game losing streak, and then they bye week, and then they played on the road at Denver. One of the reasons I took them. So they're in a very bad slump. Same thing with the Rams. They go into the bye week, I think, losing 4 out of the last 5 games, and you have a Hall of Fame coach. No, I shouldn't say that. You have a very good coach in McVay who knows how to scheme his offense, and I know it's buying good news, and I think Kupp could potentially get back. At the same time, I know this Rams defense is just atrocious, as you alluded to. So it's more so just wanting to buy McVay in essentially the lowest spot people are talking about him in. I don't think anybody is giving McVay or Stafford credit here, to be honest. And what I'm doing, and we talked about it last year and this year, going into this year, I think Antonio Pierce is a joke of a head coach. Clearly, he's lost that locker room, Crosby is a dog, but he even looks disinterested at times this year, which it's hard to I feel like, to get that out of Max Crosby, to get minimal effort. I think he's lost this team. I know and you got to think the same way, is Tom Brady just taking minor ownership. He knows you have to have a quarterback to win games. And Tom Brady looks at that locker room, and you see Gardner fucking Minshew and Aiden goddamn O'Connell. In the future, they're not going to win games this year. So I think I think Steak alluded, somebody said it, is the Raiders don't know how to throw games.
Yeah.
I think. Not saying they throw games. Yeah, I'm not saying they're tanking, but I just think it's a really bad football team. We saw it last week against the Steelers. The Raiders were somewhat sharp at home as a home dog at beginning 30, got their shits kicked in. This defense can only play a good game for perhaps for 30 minutes, and then they just essentially give up, because what we consistently find with bad offenses, when you have limited possessions and when you keep your defense on the field for 3/4 of the game, they just can't play at that high pace and high efficiency the entire time. And that's what I think that's what we're gonna see out of the Raiders defense. Second half, it just falls apart, and the Rams do pull away. So I'm against you guys. I'm not playing the -7 for the Rams. If I do, I'll find another way to play them. But I think the Raiders are dead. I know, DGen, you and I talked about wanting to take the 6.5 in the offseason. We didn't, because we don't want to be like, who's your buddy, Sharp, and just be a bitch better that always goes back to his losses and complains. 5.5, I still don't. I look at their schedule. I don't see them getting 3 more wins. This is not one of them. I might prime moneyline parlay the Rams, but I'm just purely fading Antonio Pierce in a locker room that does not believe in him whatsoever.
Fair. Very fair. Yeah. I think I tweeted about it, or I texted the guys that once Brady took ownership, Vegas has a new stadium. They need a franchise quarterback.
Let's just pump the brakes on the Brady stuff, because he's got 5%. So, yeah, he's got ownership, but he's only got 5%.
Agreed. And I'm not saying he's obviously making the big decisions, but he's not taking over a team with Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell looking in the next 5 years. There's no way.
And I think I don't even think it's finalized yet. I think it's like in processing, where like there's still a ton of shit they got to figure out, because he's an announcer, so he can't say any stuff. So I think, like, from a legal perspective, it hasn't sifted out. But at the end of the day, he's got 5%. A couple of years from now, like, you can see his intent. He wants 10, 15, 20%. But his foot's not even in the door yet.
Agreed. But that's kind of what I'm alluding to, Greg, is you talk about future. You can see his investment plan, kind of, you can see it being laid out. And that's what I'm talking about with his quarterback. Tom Brady's investment plan, I have to imagine, includes 0% Aiden O'Connell or Gardner Minshew at the helm.
Oh, for sure.
So that's kind of the point I'm dying. The hill I'm dying on there.
All fair points. All right. Well, that's enough Raiders talk. Yeah, I'm not thrilled about it, but I think I feel good enough about it.
Yeah.
Mid-major, we talked about this Chiefs and Niners game, and we kind of all aligned. It was a pretty interesting moment because early in the week I really liked the Niners, but I started saying to myself that this is, I think this is going to be the game where you think you're being cute and maybe slightly contrarian, fading Patrick Mahomes, but then you pull up your Action Network on the day of the game before kickoff, and you see 26 people are on the Niners and 3 are on the Chiefs. I've heard a lot of Niners love this week, and I'm starting to get concerned. I'm not here to tell you that I'm going to be betting on the Chiefs, but Mahomes is an underdog. They're playing the Niners. It's in San Francisco. The revenge narrative because of the Super Bowl, although State kind of shot that down, says doesn't avenge shit, which I kind of agree with. I'm probably comfortably passing on this game, but I certainly am starting to think it might be Mahomes at plus money.
I'm not betting this game
Okay.
at all. Yeah, I can make up narratives to back any fucking perspective you want about either line, total, whatever the fuck you want. So I'll be talking about them out of my ass for a pick'em and a game I just don't care to bet at all.
5% of a billion-dollar organization is still a good amount for what it's worth.
Money wise, yeah. But I think it's just I think Greg was saying like in terms of votes. Yeah, and making decisions and shit. I see what you're saying.
But long term, anyways, we won't backtrack on that. Okay, you're not betting this game. Greg, have you had any second thoughts about this?
I am not taking a side. I do agree with you. I think it's just one of those spots where, for whatever reason, people don't want to bet the Chiefs, even though they keep winning games and keep winning Super Bowls. But for me, I like the under in this at 47.5. I think there's so much star power that you sort of get blinded by how good these defenses are. And I do think the Chiefs know they don't have the weapons that they need, and tempo pace, keep it slow. Kareem Hunt, dink and dunk. But I think this game goes under pretty comfortably.
So can I say something? 47, and this is just a weird back of the brain information I have for some reason. 47.5 was the exact total the Super Bowl was, and it went under by the hook.
And overtime too. Wow.
In overtime. So I don't know if that does anything for you, but I just want to throw it out there.
No, that's good. I mean, I still just think you have to set the line this high because you got Mahomes and Andy Reid and Kyle Shanahan offenses. Like,
agreed.
How do you not put it at a high number? But I think this is one of those high ones that stays well under.
Do you think the Chiefs offense, what do you think the market perception of the Chiefs offense is at the moment?
All their studs are injured.
So do you feel like 47.5 is high when you consider the total last year in the Super Bowl when all their team was essentially healthy and it's a pretty similar team? But you have no Pacheco and you have no Rice, and it's still 47.5.
No, because you got Worthy in there, so he's not Rice, but he's still competent. It's better than what they had last year.
But it's his sixth game, and he gets like 10 touches a game, right? I'm just trying to play devil's advocate to your under.
Yeah, I hear you. I think on the other side of that, Pacheco's out, but I feel like the Chiefs are just such a system running game that you pull Kareem off of waivers and he's got 100 yards in the first week. Like, they had that white dude, Christian Steele. Like, you haven't seen a white running back since fucking, what was the guy from the Broncos, Peyton Hillis. Like, I just think they plug and pull whoever they want at that running back spot, and they're able to find success.
Fair enough. I was just wondering.
I'll tell you why I don't think it's very high. The Niners just had their best offensive performance of the season with 36 points. They have extra time to prepare. I do think Mahomes and Andy Reid off a bye week is probably factored in. When you also have two teams that are like public favorites, I think that also maybe skews the total a little bit more. And if you look at the Niners defense, actually really hasn't been that great. They've allowed 24, 24, 13 to the Patriots, and 24 to the Rams, 23 to the Vikings. Like, they're not dominant.
That's fair.
The Chiefs defense has been very good, but I think 47, I don't think you can make this much lower. So I guess I see kind of what you're saying, but it's not really a number. If it was like 48.5 or 49, then I'm like raising an eyebrow. But I think 47 is kind of where it should be.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I just don't think you get fireworks in this game. The other thing, too, that I thought is an interesting perspective, I didn't realize this until I listened to a podcast, the Sure Enough podcast earlier this week, but I guess in the offseason, the 49ers made a really strong push to get Spags or another guy from the defense when they didn't get Spags. So I think those guys are a little fired up to show up on defense. And I'd assume the same goes for the 49ers. Like, you guys didn't come to us. We're going to show you that we got our defense.
Fair enough.
All right. In the honor of keeping tempo and pace crispy, mid-major, it's not a play for us, but I am curious to hear your thoughts on the Jets Steelers. I am on an island here between the three of us. I think the Jets might skull fuck the Steelers, and I'm aware that that might be pretty trendy and obvious because they just got Devontae Adams. But they're obviously 2-4 and desperate for a win. The Steelers, I think they're 1.5 point dogs. They're going to Russell Wilson. The one thing that concerns me, and is a reason I might not even play this, is because I do, in a weird way, respect their running game. And the Jets' run defense is horrible. Like, when I watched that Bills game, Ray Davis had holes fucking anybody could have ran through. Not to take anything away from Ray Davis. But so I don't know what I'm going to do with this game, but gun in my head, it's Jets. Greg and thinks otherwise.
I'm in limbo on this.
Okay.
Steak just did a better job selling me.
Steak loves the Steelers. Loves
yeah,
them.
and I am biased because I did watch all that Monday night game, and it's just the Jets are. I think their problems are deeper than Devontae Adams.
Absolutely, I agree.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
So I'm trying to fade all the good news that's happened for both weeks, for both teams. I'm fading Russell Wilson because I fucking hate. He's so bad. I cannot see. I don't know what Steak sees in him. There was a fucking Twitter profile. I don't remember who it was, but DJ, you would have fucking ripped his asshole apart if you saw it, because he said that Russell Wilson was a good quarterback and better than Justin Fields because he showed up his stats on paper last year. And if you remember, you know his stats are so fucking overshadowed by how actually bad the Broncos were playing. And his EPA, because he was throwing 2-yard dump-off passes and everything was all yak. Anyways, I think Wilson is awful. I think that pulling a quarterback, and you talk about the run game of the Steelers, don't forget it's the run game of the Steelers with the threat of Justin Fields on the other side, right?
Mm-hmm.
The second that the game went over yesterday, which it felt like it was going to go over to me, I put 3 units on this under. It's my biggest bet of the year so far. I fucking love this under. I'm fading Russell Wilson. I'm fading the Devontae Adams news. I'm fading that the Steelers can run the ball all over the place with Russell Wilson at quarterback, because the one thing the really bad part of the Jets defense is their middle of the field, and that's what Arthur Smith loves to attack. That's what Russell Wilson cannot throw. He loves throwing deep balls and he loves throwing underneath passes. The Jets defense are good at tackling. They're not good at run defense. However, you take Justin Fields out of the equation, and Russell Wilson's not that same fucking person. And you're telling me your Devontae Adams is going to make this Jets offense all of a sudden be efficient and score 25 points a game in the first game on a short week on the road? Absolutely fucking not in prime time. I think this is a gross, disgusting game, and I think it soars under, especially when everybody thought this under yesterday was going to go under. It's the same fucking total. And this total's getting bought up, and I absolutely faded it. It's going under for me.
Interesting take, Greg. I don't even think we talked about the total.
I like it, and I'm looking something up right now. So just
while you look that up, hold on 1 second. I'm going to just reference. Brink said, "Do we think Russ is for sure getting the start? Haven't seen an update since Pelissero reported he was starting as soon as it came out." Yeah, I do, and we talked about this, and I even posted a clip of it from Greg's thoughts, and I joked about it that it was the smartest thing he ever said. I think it's a legitimate reason, if you're the Steelers going into the bye week coming up in 2 weeks, that you need to evaluate your quarterback options before you have the hardest stretch of games in NFL history. If you're not familiar with that, go look at the Steelers' last 8 games. But you do need a sample size of Russell Wilson. So it does make sense to give him 1 or 2 games. So I think that is the only logical reason to make this switch after the Steelers have gone 4-2 with Fields. So I think it makes sense. I think that's why they're going to do it. But I'm with Matt. I've never been a Russell Wilson guy. Steak, for what it's worth, Steak loves the Steelers, but at the same time, he does not like Russell Wilson. So I think he's doing it to fade the Jets.
The Devontae Adams news. I totally get it. And you fade the Jets offensive line, which has looked atrocious, and Aaron Rodgers who can't move. But then, Greg, as you know, because you jerk off to the Steelers every week, your offensive line, your center and your Pro Bowl guard who are playing like your 3 interior linemen who are playing some of the top 5 players in the position in the league, all out this week. So I think
The Steelers are down to their third string center. That was at 3.
There you go. Okay, so I'm sorry, but I know for sure that you lost your. I think it was the guard who's playing at the highest rated PFF rate in all of football, and the center who was like the third best, but I guess it's on third now anyway. Anyways, offensive lines are going to be atrocious in this game. Defensive lines are going to absolutely eat, and I got to think that's what Stake is wanting to back is the Steelers defense against this Jets offense, and I'm doing that, but I'm also fading this Steelers offense with Russell Wilson in his first week. And to Brink's point, even if he doesn't start, how many reps did Justin Fields get with the number one starting offense against Jets defense in practice? It's gonna fuck up their rhythm. And if you're telling me they're gonna do this college shit where they flip quarterbacks on every drive, fuck off. I don't know. I'm not saying that's what they're doing, but if they try that, fuck off. That there's gonna be any type of offensive efficiency from the Steelers. So I'm fading all of it. I'm playing the defenses. Clock's in the grind.
I like the under. I think you just sold me on it, and I checked 2 things while you guys were talking. Number one, he's not a huge name, but Alex Highsmith is coming back this game, and he tends to do really well when defenses focus on TJ Watt. So I think he could have a big game, especially against this bad Jets O-line that's probably laser focused on TJ Watt. The other thing I looked up, this is kind of comical because the Steelers offense is bad, right, under Justin Fields. The Steelers have 11 touchdowns on the year. I could be wrong, but I just checked really quickly. It looks like 11. 5 of those are Justin Fields running.
Is that bad? 11 touchdowns?
11 touchdowns in 6 games? It's not great.
It's not good.
I mean, you used to have games where Ben threw for 6 touchdowns in a game, right? So I'd say that's bad. And the other side of that I think is more important is Justin Fields has 5 of that. So almost 50% of your touchdowns are coming from Justin Fields and his legs. You don't get that with Russell Wilson. And I think the Steelers really need that. Granted, Fields probably takes more dumb sacks and dumb fumbles than Russell Wilson will, but Russell Wilson's by no means elusive. He's absolutely taking sacks this week.
Yeah, I like that. DJ, what are you stewing in over there?
If it's going under, it's 24/7 Jets.
I leave the Jets on the side.
Yeah.
I do not think the Steelers will get blown out. I'll say that right away. If the Steelers lose this, they're losing by a field goal. I don't think the Jets are all of a sudden going to come out and start stomping on teams. They haven't stomped anybody.
I think even though their offense only scored 1 touchdown, I think their offense looked much better post Salah in that game. I think their offense even looked better. I mean, in the second half of that Vikings game, despite the 3 turnovers. I mean, Aaron Rodgers threw 3 interceptions, and they still, playing one of the best defenses in the NFL, had a chance to win the game. I just think, I don't know. I swear as fuck.
They threw a Hail Mary too, didn't they? To Lazard. So take out that touchdown and all the offensive
2 chip shot field goals too.
No. But they scored a real touchdown before that. That was a fluky bullshit.
So talk about their offensive efficiency, and you take away that touchdown. How many points do they get?
Well, they move the ball very well, and they missed 2 very, very short field goals. They made 1, and they scored a touchdown.
So take away from it. So they scored what, 16 points then?
That's without quality drives.
Well, you can split all this stuff all you want, but I mean, they also had the Braylon Allen where he ran in, and there was a hold at the 1-yard line, which I don't know how an offensive lineman does that. Yeah. So I mean, they absolutely, yes, they had the Hail Mary, but I think where they ended up is about where they should have, even taking away that Hail Mary, because there were just so many snafus. As a fun one for you.
You know what I think this
on the offensive side.
Sorry, Greg. I think it reminds me of the Lions and Cowboys. I think it's going to be a smash spot, except it's not going to be high scoring.
The Jets don't smash anyone. They don't. They beat the Patriots 24-3. They beat the Titans by a touchdown. Like, they're just not a team that's going to all of a sudden click. Last week was their time to click. Last week was it. That was their time to click and thrive, and they didn't.
I don't know, Jim.
There's no way the Jets win this game by more than a touchdown. There's absolutely no way.
I think the Jets are going to kick the Steelers' dick in.
That's insane.
That's not insane.
That's insane.
It's not insane.
Everything they could possibly have hoped for went right for them last week. and they got 20 points, and you guys just argued that 20 points was too many because of the Hail Mary. Like
I
they're
was, yeah.
not going to come out and smash a
think the
defense
Bills-
that's much better than the Bills.
I think the Bills' defense is good.
It's not better than the Steelers.
He's right.
It's not better than the Steelers.
It doesn't generate more pressure. Like there's no way that they're going to smash them. Like they absolutely could win this game, but they are not coming out and smashing them.
I'm gonna take an alt line and say this is
Don't listen to me. The more I say it, the more you're going to go against me. So do it. And then
this is
phone and bitch about the Jets at halftime before you go to bed.
This is years of you spite fading me for the Rays. I'm giving it you.
You have spite faded me in the Steelers before.
Can't think of one time. Anyways, let's move. I just realized what time it is. Let's move.
We didn't talk about the Bills, right? Do you guys have any thoughts there with the sharp ass Titans?
No.
Okay.
Nope.
No.
Yeah,
I mean,
shocking,
it's Bills or nothing. There's no way until I do think Levis gets benched in this game. But even with Mason Rudolph, like,
I think I messaged the Titans earlier this week, and I'm an idiot that wanted to go back to them automatically. My POD for the week is, which is undefeated so far, my best bet, is the under in this game.
Interesting.
I'm fading the Bills on a short week after 3 straight road games. This is something an angle I always fade, right? They're coming back home, and then they go back on the road next week. So you're going to get a team who played incredibly hard against the Texans, who played their hearts out against the fucking Jets, and they pulled out a win there. Come back home against an awful opponent. I don't think they get up for this game, so I think their offense is kind of sleepy, or kind of eepy, if you would. The Titans. The Bills have a really good pass defense. They have a really bad rush defense. Look at what they did against the Ravens. Look at what they did against the Texans. The Texans were actually running the ball really efficiently. And even last week against the Jets, one of the reasons why the Jets were moving was because Breece Hall had 100+ yards easily on the ground. They were moving the ball easily. And the Titans offense, it cannot pass the ball. So you're going to have no Tajay Spears, maybe questionable, but it's going to have to go through Tony Pollard. And if you're telling me Tony Pollard's going to have to put up more than 20 points for your offense, I'm going to fade it. At the same time, I just don't know if the Bills give a fuck to score 25+ points in this game. Everyone's now on the Bills train. I get it. I'm the fucking conductor of the goddamn Bills train. I know this schedule like the back of my hand, and this is just a spot where it feels like it's sleepy. And maybe the Titans covered by a stupid backdoor, but I don't see a lot of touchdowns in this game. Titans surprisingly have one of the best rush defenses in the NFL and one of the better pass defenses. So they also have one of the best red zone defenses. So I think this is just a game where we see some inconsistency in the Bills offense, and they win by maybe 10, maybe 7, but it's 2010, 2017 max and going under.
The Cam had a good comment that I agree with. Whenever you have Levis out there, you got to be concerned because the pick 6 is absolutely in play.
Yeah, that's obviously my issue. But then you look at I have to assume that if you look at the numbers with the Bills defense against the run, I have to imagine that they run the ball every fucking play, except hopefully they get to 3rd and short and do whatever. But I absolutely agree. It's one of the things I'm afraid of. But when you have DeMar Hamlin playing defense, I don't know if he can catch anything, so I'll fade that.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I don't hate it one bit. I can't play the Titans if that's what you were going to pitch me on. But
if it's Rudolph, I would play the Titans. And that might be my POD. But
if it was Rudolph, I love the under because I think Rudolph is going to be super conservative, not have that boneheaded Will Levis meme.
That makes sense.
I mean, how many pick 6s can you throw?
I think he can throw 2.
That's fair. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead. Finish up.
No, I mean the Colts offense with Joe Flacco, who looked phenomenal the previous week. It only scored 13 points through 50 minutes of the game last week, and it took Joe Flacco on a 0 blitz from the Titans throwing off his back foot, not a Hail Mary, but just a fucking 6 flag up throw to Michael Pittman to score 20 points. Not saying that's how tough the Bills offense is going to find it, but the Titans defense, I was wrong about it offseason. They're playing phenomenal. It's just being overshadowed by how bad Will Levis is.
Very fair. I might tell you
the other side of that, just to play counterpoint, because I agree with you on the under, but it could be a point where the defense just gives up because they've been so bad with Levis, and it's just like, why are we even busting our ass? But I do think you have a lot of guys on there who are going to play up, and I don't see the Titans as a team that's quitting in the near future. So I'm fine with that.
Brutal stretch for the Titans at the Bills, then at the Lions. Yikes. If the Titans don't get their dick kicked in by the Bills, I'm gonna fade them in Detroit, I think.
Yeah, you
Okay,
have to.
let's keep moving. I got a few minutes left here. Matt, Stakes best bet is the under in the Ravens and Bucks. Do you have any thoughts on this primetime game? Ravens are -3.5.
It's fucking nasty. I'll tell you
Nasty.
that.
It is.
Nasty.
That's fucking nasty. I don't have much outside of if you think about the Bucks game, and I was bitching about it, and Cam was too, when the Bucks weren't running the ball and Baker was fucking throwing every first, second, third down in the first half, the offense looked really bad. Even through the third quarter, through halfway there, when Baker was when the Bucks weren't getting 10 yards of rush, Baker did not look great. I know he threw a fuck ton of touchdowns, but he threw 3 interceptions in the first half, which is not great, Jim.
Matt, why do you hate the Bucks? Why do you always shit on my team? I love the Bucks. Why do you always shit on my team?
And then you take Lamar Jackson. I mean, he's playing at a fucking another MVP level, so it's kind of hard to fade him. At the same time, and DJ, this is something we've talked about since week 1. The Ravens' offensive line is not great. They've been playing well recently, but it's really through Derrick Henry, which is why it's looking better. But I get Vita Vea on defense against an inept or inexperienced offensive line that plays together. I think he absolutely creates havoc for Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. The Buccaneers, and this is a stupid WRC plus or whatever the fuck you want to call it. They're one of the best defenses at limiting contact, getting to the running back before. How do I say this? They're one of the best defenses at essentially tackling backs in the backfield and not letting running backs get a head start, if you would, simply put.
Got it.
And that's what Derrick Henry, that's what he needs to do to be efficient, if you would. If he's not leaning forward, if he's not have a full head of steam, he's not a great running back in the backfield, and that's something the Bucks love doing with Vita Vea. They love getting in the backfield, and they're awesome at that. I can absolutely see the under, because something I do like is the next game over on the prime time. So I'm absolutely good with going with this under also.
Okay. All right. Well, I like to hear that. So that's Stakes best bet. And then to wrap this up, Matt, my best bet is the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah. I could
It's
see
down
that.
to 1.5.
I could see it. Sell me on it. You're a fucking real estate agent. Tell me to buy the fucking apartment. Tell me to sign the lease.
Is it seriously 1.5?
It's one. Why would I say that if it's not 1.5?
On some books, yes. Because he didn't fucking buy it in yet, and he's pissed off. He's a fucking loser that doesn't get CLV.
I liked it at 3.
And on Monday when he recaps, I liked that fucking 3. I didn't get it. I lost by the hook, and I'm fucking pissed. You can already see the recap.
Look how sad he is.
I know.
He's in like a drunk tank right now.
Dude, there's nothing worse than not getting the number that you. But I guess it's my fault. I mean,
You know what is worse? Complaining about it every week and still doing it.
Hey, it gets
That's
some
what's
content
worse.
though, Greg. So
It does. It is, and it's content over everything.
yeah.
You don't know which way the number is going to fucking move.
I
see
know,
it
but if
still.
you like it at 3, take it, and then shut up about it. I
It
like the
wasn't-
Seahawks at 3, and I took it.
Dickhead. It wasn't 3. It was 2.5. I wanted the 3. Do you
And buy
understand?
it. Yeah, I
You
understand.
think the home dog was
I
going to
did
get the 3 points? Come
I
on,
did.
DJ.
I thought the Chargers were going to be bet.
Come on.
Anyways, it's still 2.5 at BetMGM. I'm going to put it in right
Just
now.
fucking take it now. Yeah.
Listen.
It's
here-
2.5. You
here's-
got it at 2.5.
Shut the fuck up. I don't have it yet. Can you please not jinx it? I'm telling you right now, there's whales watching.
I'm going to
Nova
move the
Scotia.
line real quick. Hold on.
This
Let's
is
see how
Nova
fast I can get
Scotia.
this in.
I'm literally putting it in right now. I've never put it in faster in my life. 2.5. Arizona Cardinals. Don't move the market. I swear to God, if you move the market.
I see 1.5 even on most of my books.
Nope. BetMGM 2.5 in there. Like
What's the juice?
-110.
Wow. WCLV.
Yeah, MGM's interface is terrible.
Yeah.
It's like 1990s bullshit, but their lines are pretty soft. So, anyways, I'm not.
You're a real
I'm not-
estate agent. Fucking tell me to sign the goddamn lease. Sell me.
Well, I'm in. Listen, I'm not a salesman. All right, I don't think that I'm an advisor. Okay, the product should sell itself.
Nice.
Now in sports betting, no, I'm serious. Greg likes to be a salesman.
This is a good spiel. I can see the setup, so please continue.
He's not.
I'm not a salesman. I'm just telling you, an apartment at this dollar square footage does not exist anymore in Tribeca.
Yeah,
I am not a salesman.
You know what I do? You know what I do one time? I had an apartment that I had to rent, and it was actually a really nice apartment, but the bathroom was like straight out of 1920. As soon as people came in the door to look at it, I walked them right to the bathroom. And I said, I just want you to know this is the worst thing about the apartment. And if you don't mind it, you're probably going to love it. Sure enough.
Yep. And on a good note, it's a good
So
tactic. Good sales tactic.
The problem is in the NFL, there's so many bad teams that these teams don't necessarily sell themselves, or betting on them it's just not that easy because you can't just go around betting on the best teams, right? So I am going to be taking Kyler Murray as an underdog at home after failing to cover as an underdog against the Packers. I like that situation a lot more than the one previously last week, which is when, like you mentioned, you were buying high on him just winning outright as an underdog against the Niners. But what I'm doing more importantly here is I'm kind of fading the Los Angeles Chargers after betting on them in that spot against Denver. I like them coming off the bye in that spot as well. And I'm not really that big of a believer in the Denver Broncos, but I think I need to start giving Sean Payton more respect. Anyways, that's not the point. What I mentioned in the newsletter is this. If you look at the opponents that the Los Angeles Chargers have faced this year, really not that impressive. Greg, no offense to your Pittsburgh Steelers, but outside of Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs offense, Justin Fields and the Steelers offense is like the second best offense.
I think every quarterback that they've played is benched other than Patrick Mahomes.
Yep.
Minshew,
or Gardner Minshew.
Bryce Young, Fields.
Fields. I'm trying to think of the other
Bo
one.
Nix.
Oh, Bo Nix is not benched yet.
Well, he's the MVP, so he's not getting benched.
Now, listen, here's the other thing the Chargers do that I think lines up or poorly for them and good for the Cardinals. The Chargers are showing that they can get out to a pretty decent start, but they have a tough time finishing games. And Jonathan Gannon has been doing a very, very good job at putting the clamps on teams in the second half. I think that if this Chargers offense runs out of gas, which I'm not even sure that they can really get off to that good of a start anyways, because they just lack so much firepower. But I think that I kind of see scoring in this game. I think Chernoff, Greg, correct me if I'm wrong, I think he's on the over.
I like the first half over.
I actually think that's a great play because I do think the Chargers' scripted drives are going to come out and do pretty well. And the Cardinals' defense has shown they are capable of allowing teams to do well in the first half. They shut out the Lions and the Niners in the second half. They held the Packers to 1 touchdown on the road last week. That's also with the Cardinals fumbling the ball 3 fucking times and losing every single one of them. I think the Cardinals defense, I'm not saying it's good, but I think Jonathan Gannon, the coach, might be a pretty good schemer. I don't really think it's that difficult to stop the Broncos. The Chargers. I really don't. And I think in game they'll be able to figure it out. What I think is going to be more difficult, and especially it sounds like Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to play. McBride is back. He just had 9 catches. He was on my masterclass candidate list last week. I think James Conner is healthy, if I'm not mistaken. And I think you're getting Kyler Murray on a buy low spot. And I like him as a home dog against the Chargers team that I'm not really respecting very much. So the Arizona Cardinals are going to be my 2-unit best bet that I really desperately need as a winner because I'm 1-5 on the season.
Greg, you aligned with what he's saying?
Yeah, he sold me on the Chargers. I don't know if I
Cardinals
was looking at it yet. Sorry, sorry, Cardinals. I don't know if I was looking at it yet, but I'll be there Monday night. I'm gonna wait for the 3 though. I'm gonna wait for this to get back up to Cardinals +3.
You're such a douchebag.
I just wanted to bait you. That's a little reverse. That's a chess move.
Matt, I pushed the appointment back just a few minutes, but Matt, I would love to get your thoughts, and then I got to wrap it up.
I'm good with the Cardinals. I'm good with the first half over. Great nugget on the Cardinals' second half defense. Their run defense does worry me a lot against John Harbaugh and the Chargers. I do think that Dobbins is looking like a stud lately, especially after what he did in Denver against a pretty good defense, as we saw last night. So that does scare me in the first half. I do think he gets he plays pretty efficiently, but I'm good with the Cardinals. I like the 2.5. I love the 3, so if I can get that, I would fucking get it.
You're not getting fucking 3.
Let's hold that. We're gonna get it on Monday. This is where being a disciplined gambler really pays off.
Yeah, short road favorite. Short road favorite, by the way, that all fucking swept the board last week. So I have to imagine that kind of helps your narrative as well, DGen. So I'm good with it. Last one I want to ask you guys about real quick, and I'll get you out of here. Sorry, DGen. Browns Bengals, another sharp fucking game. Any thoughts at all?
None. What do you got?
None. Okay. So
Nothing.
I'll give you your fucking flowers, Degen. So somehow I missed your nugget on the fucking Bengals all having a a defensive orgy meeting last week, and they played phenomenal against Daniel Jones with no Malik Neighbors and no starting running back. I love the over with the Browns and the Bengals. They're getting Nick Chubb back. The Bengals defense is still dog shit. I know that. And I fucking hate the betting on Deshaun Watson, but they're getting the 2 starting linemen back. You're getting Nick Chubb back to somewhat efficiency. I think that the Bengals do whatever they fucking want on offense because the Browns defense is absolutely just torn to shreds with injuries. I think that the Bengals get whatever they want, and I do think the Browns can move the ball. Because if you look at what the Browns did on offense against the Eagles, they actually they had more yards than the Eagles did, which is shocking. But Watson is just so fucking bad in the red zone, they can never convert touchdowns. And I think Nick Chubb just changes that against a really bad Eagles defense. I feel lucky to have gotten the Browns total team under in the full first half, in the full game. Should have gotten the first half, whatever. Didn't come through. I was wrong about the Eagles defense. It's fucking bad.
Yeah.
To allow Deshaun Watson to march up and down the field to string together, what was it? 4 scoring drives or 3 scoring drives? That's not good. And they were on the field.
They only scored 9 points because the
3 scoring drives. I apologize. Yeah. But at the same time, they had it on 1st and goal in the last within 4 minutes, I think, at the end of the game, and they didn't convert. They kicked a fucking field goal for some reason.
Right. God knows why they kicked that field goal. Just fucking
Stefanski's a fucking idiot. I won't bet against that. But that's kind of where I'm at. And does anyone see the opener for this game?
No.
Tell me, Degen, do you see it anywhere?
Wasn't it 3.5 or 4?
For the total, I apologize.
Oh, no.
Total, yeah, he's asking total.
I'm seeing 44, which is a fucking astounding for a Browns game and a Bengals team that just put up 17 points and that soared under in prime time. And it's down to 41, which makes sense because if I was a plus EV better, I would have bet the under on this 44 total. That opener and everything I'm saying, it leads me to the over, especially when you talk about a Browns offense that got in the red zone pretty effectively last week. And now they play a worse defense at home, getting 2 offensive linemen back, getting Nick Chubb back. I see points, man.
Yeah, I mean, for that total to go down does make sense too because the Bengals, I think, got a couple guys back on the D line.
But I mean, even if that's the case, if I can counteract with the Browns offense, yeah. But also market perception. Again, if I was a plus, if I analyzed the line, Sunday the second the line came out, there's no way I'm betting an over with Deshaun Watson who can't score, who can't put up points at the moment against a Bengals team who just played phenomenally on defense in prime time on the national stage.
Yep. Okay.
So that's kind of what I'm fading. But I had to play the over. That's my nasty over for the week.
All right.
I mean, these
so Matt's nasty over. Matt's POD is Titans.
Well over.
Yeah.
Titans Bills under.
POD.
Yep. And then out of our bets, Matt, Packers Texans over, Raiders, Ravens under, Seahawks, Cardinals.
That's a great way to close it.
Seahawks would be your favorite.
I'm not
bet.
even gonna fucking let you say it. I'm just gonna boom it, baby.
Okay.
Seahawks. That would be my best bet of your guys' 5.
Matt, Greg, thank you for joining as always on a Friday and taking time out of your busy days. Good luck this weekend and enjoy it. And we'll see you guys next week.
Thanks for having me. Thanks, guys.
All right, guys. Peace. Bye, Greg. See ya. All right. Oops. Sorry. Thank you, Matt. Okay. W guys. I'm going to let's send you over to Owner's Box. I think Owner's Box is probably live. Shady Beeve with a sub bang. Hello, DJM. What's up? Money Roller with a sub bang. Appreciate you. Matt is very handsome. W's. Beeve stays beaving with his another fucking ladder play at the buzzer. You gotta love it. Yep, looks like Owner's Box is live. All right, I'll send you guys over to Owner's Box. Thank you for hanging out. I got to go run and be corp for a few hours, but I will chat with you guys later. I think MJ and Ramble's doing an NBA space. Make sure to check that out. 5:30. I will try to hop in. I know my wife wants to go to a movie. We might go see Joker, and then we might head out of the city for the night. So I will be on the run here. Raid Owner's Box. Cool. Bike stream, need it? Yeah, you want one? I can do a bike stream a little bit later. I actually have to go to the west side here in about 30 minutes. So maybe I'll do one then. All right, guys. I'm raiding Owner's Box right now. Join the raid. I'll check you guys later. Peace. Boom. And